Hey everybody, it's Chris from Marketing During Tough Times. Thanks for stopping by. It is Wednesday. Wednesday is Startup Day, where I take you through my Startup Formula course that's available on TonyRobbinsMastermind.com website. This is step 10, and we're looking at how are you going to deliver your service. And this is a spot where most people can get stuck. So I think most of my viewers are starting their first business. You might be a home-based business doing, maybe you're making a product or you're doing a service, or it could be an online business where you're doing some kind of digital download or some kind of course. And so you have to figure out, okay, how am I gonna deliver this to the public? So the first thing you need to figure out is what is it you're gonna need? So if you're selling a physical product, you're gonna need an online store. If you're selling a digital product, you're gonna need a platform that does digital downloads. And if you're a service business, maybe you're gonna do face-to-face, you're gonna need some form of space to do that. So I'm gonna give you some examples of friends of mine and my own examples of how we've worked things out. So a friend of mine owns a business that does soundproofing panels. They're custom soundproofing panels. They're sort of decorative for your house or your restaurant or churches, and they provide soundproofing, and they're also decorative. He started this company in his garage. He just makes them in his garage, sold them on his website, and to do his sales, his delivery side of things, he used Shopify. It seems like Shopify is the thing everybody uses. It's basically a shopping cart software. You don't need to invent a software. You just set up a Shopify account, and they can take care of that end of things. For my digital course like this, mastermind.com is what I use. So I have to create the content, I have to market the content, but TonyRobbinsMastermind.com actually hosts the site, takes care of the order fulfillment, takes care of pretty much everything on the technical side of things, the credit card processing, getting paid. They link me, they hook me up with a credit card processor, everything. So something like mastermind.com, Kajabi is another great one. I know a lot of people like Kajabi. Let's say you need a physical space. What do you do then? Well, I'll give you a couple examples. My dad started his first company a long time ago. He was an insurance consultant. And so he went out and rented the smallest space he could possibly find. I mean, it was tiny. It was on basically the basement of an office building. It used to be part of the break room, and I think it might have been a storage closet at some point. So he took this tiny office, and he had them build a wall and cut it in half. So he had a small office for him, like a really small office, and a small office for his receptionist and his secretary. And he just started there. He started tiny with something that he could afford, so that he could worry about going out and selling and getting more clients and doing the work, as opposed to trying to build out a giant space. So he started very small. He eventually built an enterprise and really a massive empire that's really impressive, but he started small. Some of you know my story. I own a performing arts school, but I started out as a guitar school in my apartment. So I had no money. When I say no money, I mean I had zero. I probably had $100 in my checking account or something like that. So I didn't have money to sign a lease. I didn't have money really for anything. So I hung up green flyers and taught guitar lessons out of my apartment. I got so many clients that my building said, Chris, you can't run a business out of your apartment. I mean, it's one thing to give a couple lessons, but you're giving a lot. And we can't allow that for zoning reasons. So I started looking for some place to have my business at. I still didn't have enough money to rent my own space. So my mom actually found a record store. Do you know what records are? They're albums, a store that sold records in the suburbs, not far from where I lived. And they had a vacant office in there. It was like their business office, but they weren't using it because it was a retail record space. We'd go in and buy records, and I think they sold guitars and stuff like that. So I brought all my guitar students there, and I paid them by the hour. So I approached the owner. I said, look, I can pay you, I forget what it was, maybe $5 or $10 an hour to use this space, however many hours a week. They actually gave me keys so I could work late because they wanted to be done at 7, and I taught till 10 o'clock at night. And at the end of the day, I just left them a check or whatever it was to pay them for the space. So I rented the space by the day. It worked for me because I wasn't on the hook for a lease. I didn't have any utility bills. I didn't have any phone bills. And if, let's say, it was a holiday or there were weeks off, well, I didn't have to pay them. I could just say, hey, I'm not using the space today. I don't have to pay. And they were actually fine with that. It wasn't until I really had that business running 4 or 5 days a week, almost like a full-time job, that I actually rented a space. So I started small. I didn't sign my first lease to where I had rent until almost 4 years into my business. So I started slow, small, and just grew it gradually over time before I took on something that I couldn't handle that would be stressful. Because let's face it, you're starting a business, it can be stressful. You might feel the pressure of everything. So the last thing you need is a bunch of big bills coming down on you, crushing you. So you've come a long way. I don't want you to give up. I want you to stick with things, but I want you to think about creative ways to get your business off the ground without spending a lot of money, without stressing yourself out. Okay? So that's all for today. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.